Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another Data Drivers race sponsored by Splunk and Big Data Beard. That's right, Data Drivers is the series where we go racing on iRacing, and then we use the data from iRacing to hack our way into insights into racing using Splunk's powerful data to everything platform. I want to welcome those of you who watched the CIO chat with Josh Atwell earlier here on Splunk Twitch. Thanks for joining us and hanging out for the race. Hopefully, you'll find some useful nuggets on how you can use Splunk to derive insights into racing data and into IT and observability in your day job. My name is Corey Minton. I'm a strategist with Splunk, and I am super excited to welcome my good friend Kyle join us in the broadcast studio. Kyle, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm super excited for this. It is our final race of the Data Driver series, which is just a little sad, but I'm extremely excited for what's to come at .conf, and we'll chat more about that later. However, you are here today. We are glad you are here. If you would like to, please chat with us over on the sidebar on Twitch. And if you would like to participate more, maybe race in the future sometime or get involved in the hackathon, go ahead and hit the registration link over in the Twitch below or to the side as well. Yeah, Corey, super excited for this.
It's exciting. Well, we are at the Sonoma Raceway, formerly known as Sears Point, the location of my very first NHRA drag race I attended as a child. Super excited. It's also kind of one of Splunk's home racetracks, the host of a couple of Splunk track days in the past. So pretty exciting. And we've got an enormous field today, 15 cars on track, and you're seeing the top 12 qualifiers. And it should come as no surprise, John Hayward's leading the way again. That dude is just too fast.
Just setting the pace for everybody down here as well. You know, it's just fascinating to watch.
That's right. And for you Splunk fans out there, you may have seen last year around .conf, there was actually Doug Merritt and some of the executive team, including Cinder, actually drove McLaren 620s out on this track in real life. We'll drop a link to that in the show notes. And, honestly, I kind of want to look at the data to see if we're faster, because these are proper GT3 class cars, and they got a lot of horsepower. I don't know how they compare to the 620 that's a street car, so it'd be kind of fun to get a hold of that data.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these can get a little touchy if you're not careful, and you'll end up gardening pretty quickly in the beautiful Northern California scenery.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, I do want to say a special thanks to our, like I said, enormous field of drivers. We've got obviously John Hayward leading the way there in that beautiful Lamborghini. Then we have a holdover from our time at virtualrace.conf. That is Niall Clark. You may have heard us refer to him lovingly as Peggy. It's a little virtualrace.conf inside humor. But we also have a big group from Splunk partner S2 Security joining us. Jacob, Daniel, Nicholas, and Ryan all driving some really slick painted S2 security cars. And Daniel there qualified in, I think, third. So very impressive stuff. We've also got Stephen Ludke. You may know him as the Dashboard Ninja, one of our blockchain engineers at Splunk. George Wicker joins us again. He had fun with us. And then Kyle, how do you feel about that 8th place qualification?
You know, I'm okay with it. It's been pretty busy here back home. So, you know, not as high as I would normally like to go, but considering the large amount of people we have today, right smack in the middle isn't too bad of a place to be. So, yeah, I'll take it. Just hoping for a clean race so far today. We'll see how I go.
That's right. Well, we've also got Splunk Trust member Ryan Ploss joining us in that beautifully painted car. We'll talk about him more in a minute. And then Tim Hard, John Labaugh, rounding out the team from our the observability strategist team at Splunk, and we are underway here. I do want to call out, we have a special guest with us today, Jeff Lowe. You'll see on the scoreboard on the timing tower is called out as Benjamin Derringer, but that is Jeff Lowe. He is the AVP of observability marketing here at Splunk, and he's joining us in the race simulator that we set up in the Santana Row office. So pretty awesome to have our executive sponsor joining us for the race today. And as no surprise, Kyle, John already putting time on everybody. What do you think?
Absolutely. You know, he sets the precedent for racing here. And anytime I need some insights or tips on tricks on how to take a turn, I go back and rewatch his racing laps, because it's not just a question of if he can complete the lap, but how fast.
We got a little spill up there right in the middle of the pack. Jacob's going to lose some spots there, but you were able to, it looks like, stay tidy. That's a tough one. And it
a little
looks
bit
like
of defensive driving.
That's right. So Niall is getting a little battle there from Daniel, and I was actually lucky enough to qualify fourth here in the McLaren. And actually, for those of you who don't know, I have ADD in real life, but I have ADD with cars. And I up until today, I had not driven the same car in any one of the Data Drivers races. And today, thanks to a Twitter poll, Twitter voted, and they decided that I needed to drive the McLaren GT3 as well. So that's the first time in this series that I've driven the same car in more than one race. I love that Steven's taking out the cones.
I do want to give a shout out too to our own Haley Ferrario over in the Splunk San Francisco office, racing as Ben Derringer in 10th place right now. And Haley is our events marketing manager and kind of the brains behind Data Drivers and the Boo event that is happening at .conf as well, which we can drop registration links over there to the side chat as well. Some pretty sweet car paints today overall. It's really cool to see everybody getting excited about this, especially the people at S2 Security and our own Ryan Plass with the special edition Splunk Trust car with our own Dwayne Waddle duck fez on the side. If you don't know Dwayne is our resident Splunk Trust member and expert, as well as fellow Nashvilleian and a
soft
proper
place in your heart there, huh?
Man, if you're Tennessean and you got a huge beard, I know I'm gonna like it. It's all good, So it's great.
Right. Well, very good. Well, the racing action is underway. Kyle, looks like you're having a battle there with Stephen Ludke. Stephen joined us for a number of these races. Super happy to have him join us. And I tell you what, I've got a battle on my hands trying to fend off Daniel and see if I can catch some time on Niall. He's got a pretty good lead on me right now, but we'll give it the best. Now, I do want to say, for those of you watching, hopefully you enjoy the racing action. This is quite a large field. It's actually kind of funny how big the timing tower is because we have so many cars. We had to make some allowances for it, which is an awesome problem to have. But what you may not know is that every one of these drivers is actually running a little program on their gaming rig that is actually sending us about 150 metrics to Splunk's observability cloud, and we're actually going to surface racing insights into that during our hackathons, and that's what we've been doing. That's what this series is all about, is taking the data created in these races and then actually using it as like our toy box, our tinkering area. And here you can see on board, I love this shot, by the way. This is on board with Daniel from S2 Security chasing me down in that McLaren with the Splunk back end. It looks like I've got Buttercup on the rear haunches of that McLaren, representing Splunk well, doing our best. But these races,
helping with the beauty and speed of the car, right?
That's right. Well, it's hard to argue with the beauty. Like the flame throwing out of the back of the McLaren.
It's just
easily the coolest car in iRacing for that reason, if no other reason. Not that we don't love McLaren, as Splunk is a sponsor of McLaren's F1 racing team, as well as the Shadow esports team from McLaren. So super happy to have those folks joining us on the hackathon tomorrow. We'll actually be talking with Blake Reynolds, one of the drivers of the NASCAR cars for our friends at Shadow. Now, Kyle, if you want to why don't you do this real quick for those that are interested in the hackathon? As a reminder, it is tomorrow at this same time, so 12 p.m. Pacific. Same channel right here on Twitch. And if you want to be part of that hackathon, make sure you sign up. But maybe just give us a recap. This is the last race of the season. Tell folks a little bit about what we've done with these hackathons.
Man, we have traveled the data journey with these hackathons. We started at first with, hey, what does any good racer need to know? Well, they need to know information about their environment. So we took a look at the PC infra data. At the time, we installed the Smart Agent from Splunk infrastructure monitoring, but we'll have to, from now on, install the OTel collector, which is part of the Open Telemetry project. From there, we also grabbed the iRacing data from the script that we have hosted on GitHub. So GitHub Big Data Beard Data Drivers. If you just pop that into search or take a look over at the link, we can add that to you. All of that data was then surfacing into Splunk Ollie Cloud, or Splunk Observability Cloud, as we affectionately call it. And we began to take a look there, but then we also were able to easily transfer that data over into Splunk Enterprise. From there, we were able to build a service around the car, monitor tire health, and see how that overall, or those little pieces and services built an overall service health of our race. And then after that, we began to analyze how our performance as racers was both, kind of dependent on our car and the track with ITSI service dependencies, and then built some pretty cool glass table visualizations. And I think that was probably my favorite hackathon so far, just because you got to see the insights into the data so quickly. Corey, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I think the glass table was super fun because it's one of those that it was real business context for the business of racing. And in this case, we had Blake Reynolds talking to us about how, in iRacing, especially in the NASCAR series, you can have a spotter in some of these pro races. And man, do we have a battle going on right here between Daniel and I. This is super fun to watch. Oh, looks like a little contact.
Hey, if you're not rubbing, you're not racing,
Apparently, Daniel decided that he was tired of being behind me, so I figured if he gives me a little tap, but didn't go off track, was able to save it. We'll see if we can track it back down. But the business context provided by Blake that he has a spotter was interesting because now we can, understand that spotters need certain things during the race to give him the best advice possible. So we created this visualization that encapsulated, that critical information a spotter needs to know about the health of the car, how the tire's doing, fuel levels, so they can make pitting decisions, as well as the outcomes that they're looking to drive. So monitoring things like position in race, lap time deltas to make sure that we're holding consistent lap times, and really providing that rich visualization with color coding that just allows you to really get rapid insight into the data with simple, clean, crisp visualizations. And I agree, that's kind of what we were building towards, and that's what a lot of folks are trying to get to when they think about using Splunk for their business. It's how do I make sure that the most critical revenue impacting services that I run as a company, everything under the covers is working well, but I always keep my eye on the ball, or in this case, eye on the road, to make sure I get that outcome. And tomorrow we're actually going to be right back at it with another hackathon. Excited to welcome Blake Reynolds back to get some perspective from him on what's really important to be alerted on during the race, because our focus tomorrow is called what did we call it? I actually forgot the name of it. It's alerting. Oh, it's data to action. Sorry, it's data to action and thresholds at speed. And the idea is that okay, we've given the spotter something to look at, but maybe we can do some alerting really intelligently on the critically important things that a racer might need to know to actually alert them in car. And then we're actually going to use thresholds to actually make sure and machine learning powered thresholds to make sure that we're really only alerting the things that are important. Oh, we'll see George losing. That's such a challenging turn there because you actually, you go off, it has a kind of a weird rise. And if you lift at all, the car gets so light, it just flies around. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had him in my rear view and I saw him gaining quick. And once he took that turn and he was no longer back there, I had a little bit of a selfish sigh of relief, but hopefully he could get back on the track and make up some time.
That's right. Well, we've got also our expert tomorrow is going to be Jeff Wiedemann, another member of the IT strategist team here at Splunk and a principal strategist. So he's top of the tops in terms of capabilities. Super excited to have him on to help us learn how to, did we build the right KPIs and have we thresholded them accurately? And how can we use Splunk and the embedded machine learning capabilities to make sure that we're really alerting the right things and we're causing action, like we're giving actionable intelligence from the data. So very excited. Again, you can register right over there on the link. It is at 12 o'clock Pacific. That is 3 p.m. Eastern time for those of you who struggle with time math like me. But more importantly than anything for us as Splunkers and for you, if you're interested in this experience of, seeing data brought to life, data to everything, then we got to call out that Splunk and their annual user conference .conf 21 is happening October 18th through 21st. And if you know anything about us, the Big Data Beard team, Kyle and myself especially, have a super strong passion for .conf. It is the best week of the year, and we highly encourage you to go over to conf.splunk.com to register. Kyle, what are you excited about most from .conf this year?
I think I'm excited for the data playgrounds. We've been talking around a bit, and I don't want to give away too much, but just seeing, I thought we were kind of the only ones who did wacky and out of the box ideas with data, but no. There is so many different cool things that people are doing with Splunk and gathering data out of it that it's just absolutely exciting to see, and it gets your gears turning for what else could I Splunk or what else could I get data out of. So that's what I'm personally excited to see. How about you?
I am excited to see the way that McLaren shows up at Splunk, because as we said, Splunk is a sponsor of McLaren's F1 and Shadow Esports team. And I know there's got to be a bunch of cool stuff planned for McLaren. And I do know that we're going to be right in the middle of it with data drivers. We're actually going to have a full racing simulation set up in that data playground. It's going to be super fun. Lots of ways for you to get hands on the wheel and the data, much like we've done in this series. But yeah, I'm super excited to see them. And it's obviously fun if you're a techie and you do fun, interesting, goofy things like this. It's fun to share what you learned. And so we actually have a session called Data Drivers and the Race to Observability. That's going to be us talking to you folks, the attendees, both in person there in Las Vegas and virtually, about the things that we learned about Splunk and about racing data in this series. So it's really kind of a tie wrap up, put a nice bow on this series, and hopefully share with you more about what we learned.
Yeah, absolutely. I am extremely excited about this. After this past year, it's been a while, so I'm excited to see others in 3 dimensions and talk about what we can see out of this data. Because as you can see on the track, these things are fast and they generate a lot of data very fast. So it'd be cool to see it in person.
Yep. And one of the best things about .conf, you see Niall there. Niall is still I'm surprised he's only 6 seconds back. He is running a screamer because I'm 15 seconds off his pace. I gotta say Niall is looking fantastic on this course.
Yes, I think he's probably going to win the most improved for this series as well, because he and I would keep up about the same time, and now he is just he's just embarrassing me, let's say.
He's on a flyer, man. I'm super happy for him. That's fantastic to see. Now, one of the other things that is one of the highlights of .conf is the boss of ops and observability. You may have seen it before as boss of the knock. That was an IT-focused, gamified experience to get your hands on Splunk in some fun episodes. We changed the name to Boss of Ops and Observability because we are absolutely including lots of really interesting observability content in those episodes, and it really reflects what the series is all about now. And so I want to make sure that everybody knows that .conf, you sign up for .conf at conf.splunk.com. If you're going to be there in person or virtually, you can participate in Boss of Ops and Observability. So if you don't know, it's capture the flag. It's great. Crazy fun. I mean, it's going to be crazy to be in a room with a bunch of people and feeling the excitement of the game in real life. That actually, I'm going to retract. That's the thing I'm most excited about for Conf.
Well, we've been hard at work with it, so I think it's a fair thing to be excited about. And I think it's a absolutely wonderful way to kind of dip your toes into some new, maybe some different Splunk products, and you get to touch every day and see different scenarios and how they can interact, which, you know what, that's easily in my top 3 as well, just because that's going to be a lot of fun.
We got a problem. Looks like Niall must have had some damage. I didn't see it on track. Looks like he's in the pit, so he's going to lose some positions pretty rapidly there. Yeah, you can see Daniel moves into second. I've moved into third. That's a pretty big, I hate that happened for Niall. Super excited to see how well he was racing. Well, the racing continues here, and the S2 cars, again, calling out Ryan Ploss. Ryan driving what I think is the prettiest car on the track in terms of the race paint, but those S2 cars were done exceptionally well as well.
Yeah, they are absolutely beautiful and well coordinated, might I add. All of them have a little bit different of a scheme.
They showed up with 4 racers. It's like a racing team. Maybe they're working together to. We didn't say any rules against that, so more power to them, I guess, right?
Hey, absolutely. We encourage anybody else to come up with maybe steal their idea and come join the next time as well. Maybe we do a little bit of team racing, see how we go there.
Oh, the tandem was taking each other out as we say that. That's awesome.
Maybe not team racing anymore. We retract that statement.
Well, for those of you into motorsports and into esports and racing, you probably are aware of the Logitech G Challenge happening. For those of you who don't know, Logitech G Challenge is a global challenge where they have monthly events in 3 categories. You've got GT3 class cars like these being raced on the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform, which is a PC and Xbox racing game. And then you've got open wheel, which is more like the F1 and Indy style cars, as well as NASCAR style racing, which I know we have a little fun. Here we're Americans, so we get really excited about NASCAR.
It's a lot of fun.
You can qualify for those races each month. You have a chance to qualify for the events, and then there's a challenge at the end of each month. And I can tell you this: Splunk is incredibly excited to be one of the title sponsors of this year's Logitech G Challenge, and excited to see some of the Shadow esports team from McLaren participating, hopefully winning some of those races. But super excited for Splunk to be such a big part of that. And candidly, I'm hoping secretly that we can go to that super cool trip at the end where all the races, the winners of the final sort of race, they get an all-inclusive trip to Vegas. And I'm hoping that we can sneak our way into that process. Maybe by winning.
We'll make little shirts. Yeah. I doubt it. I mean, I think I'm a decent driver, but I don't think I'm that good. Maybe I'll just get a shirt that says, I'm with fast with an arrow pointing.
Well, it looks like you gave George Wicker back a little bit of that medicine from the bump earlier, and you had a nice slide in front of him at the same spot. Oh, It looks like he may try to repay you.
We're just, the tires are getting slick. It's getting late in the day. We're just getting a little sloppy with our racing. But by God, we're just going to hold on for dear life and see how far we can get through this with as little incident points as possible.
That's awesome. For those who race with us, they know this, but you're watching, you don't actually see this. But this race is a 20-minute race, but it was actually preceded by about 100 minutes, almost 2 hours of practice and qualifying that almost every car on track was in that practice. And we do that so that we can get, everybody comfortable, on the track. Because some of the folks, as you can see, based on the licenses in the timing tower, there are a lot of rookies, a lot of folks that are new to this. So we want to give them plenty of time to get comfortable, but also to make sure that we're getting data properly and that we're streaming the things that we want to see from a data perspective. So by the time you see we're getting to this point, people have been in the seats for just about 2 hours at this point, based on where we are in the race. And
it's a long time. It your feet get tired, your calves get tired, my legs, my knees get tired. Well, I think that's probably getting old as well. But I did look at the data, and I did see that a couple of the racers ran upwards of 40 laps in practice, and at that point, your focus is just gone. Yes, brain drain is real on that.
Well, I can tell you this right now. I can tell you who's not drained. That's John Hayward, the silent assassin, the silent and polite assassin. He is so fast, and it looks like this is how fast he is, folks. That he's about to lap Kyle, who's in sixth place in a 20-minute race. He is running flyers. Sorry, at your expense. That's terrible.
Well, I got to be honest. At this point, I did see him in my rear view, and I just went. I jumped on there and I said, "John, just pass me. It's not worth it. I want to finish where I'm at right now. I don't want to get taken out. Go ahead and get around me."
That's so smart. Well, hopefully everybody's enjoyed this racing series, and I will say, while it is the final race of this season of Data Drivers, it's not the end of Data Drivers. And I would encourage everybody, definitely subscribe to the Twitch channel, because we're going to be putting out some more Data Drivers content here. You can follow the Big Data Beard on Twitter, Instagram, pretty much all your social media platforms for more details. But one of the things that we've got cooked up, we've got a whole bunch of things we want to get done from a data perspective, and I highly encourage you to join us at .conf, watch our session, because we're going to talk to you about the things we didn't get done that we have in mind for Vision. But one of the fun things that I've got planned is actually this weekend on Sunday, I get to go out and do some driving on a track like this, Barber, site of our first race of the year. So I actually get to go out and drive my car, which is not as powerful as a GT3, but pretty fun track car. And we decided that we're going to do a Data Drivers in real life versus iRacing. So we're going to be collecting a whole bunch of data about my drive in my car in real life. And we're going to compare that to iRacing data in one of the Ford FR500Ss, which is a factory-built Mustang race car. It has a pretty similar power to weight ratio as my car. So that'll be fun to look at the data in Splunk and really use all the things we've learned. Well, here we see John Hayward has completed the race. Daniel's going to come in second. I'm going to make my way around for third. And it looks like the field has really it got shaken up quite a bit. That is quite a race with 15 cars.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning that 15 cars and all but 5 are 1 lap down at least. I think that's a testament to John Hayward's speed. But this has been an absolutely fun series, Corey. Thank you for getting it put together and organizing it and letting us all be a part of it. It's been a good time.
Man, I agree. It's been a lot of fun. And I want to make sure everybody remembers, definitely subscribe to the Twitch channel. Be sure to check out Big Data Beard on your favorite social media platforms for more information about what we're going to be doing with Splunk on data drivers. It's going to be some fun stuff. And be sure you register for .conf. But that's the end of the race, folks. That's race number 6. Congrats to John and Daniel for first and second place. And I am excited as I'll get out to take P3. And with that, we're going to wrap up with a special treat. Kyle, thank you so much for joining me in the broadcast studio. We're going to go chat with Jeff Lowe, our executive sponsor for today's race, and see how the racing action went for him. Well, what an exciting race that was there at Sonoma. And obviously this episode and series is brought to you by Splunk, and we are excited to welcome Jeff Lowe, AVP of Observability at Splunk, to the race. You saw him in the race, and it was his very first time. So, Jeff, what was it like to race iRacing for the very first time?
Yeah, it was super fun. Thank you very much for the invite. It's a lot more realistic and difficult than it looks. Definitely not like Super Mario Kart.
It is not exactly. We do need turtle launchers. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
How do we get red shells launched out of the McLarens? We'll have to talk to somebody about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed to shoot my lightning bolt and basically turn everybody into little miniature racers so I can pass them.
All right, we have an idea for iRacing. Let's get on this.
All right.
Jeff, I love your shirt. What are you most excited about in the area of observability right now?
Yeah, observability is a super exciting space right now. I think what's most exciting are a lot of the innovations that we're delivering to help customers drive value and transform their business. So, by bringing together logs, metrics, and traces, customers can really drive down, mean time to detect of issues. They can quickly find, fix issues, and really deliver the outcomes and customer experiences that they really need to in today's digital environment. So it's a super exciting space.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know a lot of folks are getting excited about .conf. It's just around the corner, as we've talked about, and it is hybrid at this point. So we're going to have some folks in person and virtual. Both experiences are going to be great. But I'm curious, what is something maybe you could tease everybody with, something you're super excited about that's happening at .conf this year to make sure that we all tune in?
Yeah, there's quite a bit that's going on at .conf, as you know. One of the biggest things that I think is going to be super exciting is just the sheer number of customer stories that you're going to hear about. Taking data and turning it into doing is really kind of our mantra going forward, and customers are really taking advantage of the capabilities that we're delivering. So I don't want to spoil anything, but stay tuned for a lot of really interesting customer stories about how they're taking our data platform and doing a lot with it, driving value, delivering better customer experiences, and ultimately transforming their businesses.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you folks watching enjoyed the racing action, but make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time, for our hackathon, where you're going to see us turning data into action and using thresholds at speed in a really unique way with our friend Jeff Wiedemann from the strategist team. So, Jeff, thank you again for joining us for an awesome race. And we'll see you tomorrow. Whatever you're into, be data-driven and join Data Drivers.